Good morning, children. Today we are going to start with the 16th question of probability. So the question is there on the screen. What is the probability that a leap year has 53 Sundays? So this type of sum we have done before also. And as I have told you, if it is a year or a month, if it is as 53 Sundays, 52 Mondays, always remember that the sample space remains 7. Okay, so days related to year or month, don't get confused that you have to take 30 days or 365 days because it is a month or a year. Always remember that you have to take sample space as 7. So this is the logic which you have to remember while you are doing it. Now let's see how to go about this sum. So in a leap year there are 366 days. So sample space remains 7, but you are going to get this 366 days. You have to divide it with 7. The reason is you have to find how many weeks. So how many weeks and extra days will be the number of events. So when you divide 366 with 7, you get 52 weeks and 2 is left. Number 2 is the remainder, means 2 extra days you have. So according to that, 2 extra days means if first there are two possibilities. That shows that there are two possibilities, 2 extra days means. If first day or the second day of a year is Sunday, then it will have 53 Sundays. Because see, if you have first day means 1st of Jan as Sunday in that leap year, then there is a possibility that in 2 extra days, one of the first one extra day is going to be Sunday. If second day of the year, that means 2nd Jan of that leap year is Sunday, then that second extra day which is there, that will be Sunday. So that means 52 weeks means 52 Sundays. And then there are two possibilities that it can be 53 Sundays. So then the number of event is becoming 2. So for this logic, you have to apply that first thing, sample space will be 7. Second thing, when you divide 366 with 7, 2 extra days, that becomes the number of event. So 2 becomes the number of event. So number of event upon number of sample space is 2 upon 7. So that is the probability of 53 Sundays. Okay, children. Now we go to the next question. In the next question, it is said a box has 200 pens, out of which 20 are defective. So out of 200 pens, 20 are defective. One pen is taken out at random. What is the probability that it is not defective? So now, if 20 are defective, so 200 minus 20, that means 180 pens are not defective. So there are two ways to do this sum. So let's see, total number of pens are 200. Sample space is 200. So number of pens that are defective is 20. So number of events for pens that are defective will be 20. So what I have done is I have found that the pens, probability of pens are defective. So pens are defective, number of events which are defective, that is 20. Number of sample space, total number of pens is 200. So 20 upon 200, 0 gets cancelled. 2 ones are 2, tens are 20. So that is how we get probability of pens that are defective as 1 upon 10. Okay, children. Now if we want to find pens that are not defective, so this you can see that there are two possibilities. One is pen defective and second is pens are not defective, means it is P not event. So as I have told you, P event plus P not event is equal to 1, that is the sure probability, which is always possible, that is 1. Either of the two is possible. So pens that are not defective, I have subtracted 1 minus pen that are defective, means whatever probability we got, 1 minus probability of pens that are defective, I have subtracted from 1. So that is how I got the answer as 9 upon 10. So now the other method which I am going to show is, here you can see the total number of pens are 200. So number of sample space is 200. Number of pens that are defective is 20. So number of pens that are not defective. number of pens, number of non-defective pens I'm writing in short, non-defective pens is equal to 200 minus 20. That is equal to 180. Okay, children. So now you have 180. So now directly you can take the to find the probability. So probability of non-defective pens, non-defective pens is equal to number of events. Here it will be upon number of sample space. That is the formula what I am taking. So that is equal to 180 divided by 200, because total number of pens is 200 and non-defective pens are 180. So now when you cancel this zeros, so you will cancel this zeros, and you will divide this 18 with 2, so 2 9s are 18 and 2 10s are 20. So then you are getting 9 upon 10. Okay, children. So this is the probability of non-defective pens, that is 9 upon 10, which you get the same by finding the pen probability of pens that are defective and then subtracting it with 1. Or you can directly subtract 200 with 20 and then get 180, that is the number of events for the non-defective pens, and find the probability of non-defective pens. So there are two methods. Whichever method you feel easy, do it in that way. Okay. Now we go to the next question, next part, that is the next question. Now, from a pack of playing cards, all odd numbered cards are removed. When a card is removed from the remaining, find the probability that it is a multiple of 3, face card and a ace, an ace. So here you can see a pack of playing cards means it is 52 cards are there in a pack of playing cards. Out of that, odd numbered cards are removed. So odd numbered means like 1 doesn't exist. So in the card, I'll just show you this pack of cards. You have to go back to the pack of cards and you have to remember. And that odd number cards which are there are 3, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, because it starts with ace, then 2 to 10. So in between 2 to 10, 3, 5, 7 and 9, these are the odd numbered cards. So now there are 4 cards, 4 odd numbered cards, and there are 4 sets. So 4 into 4 becomes 16 cards. Now these are removed from the pack. So 52 minus 16, you get 36 cards. Now from this remaining 36 cards, you have to find that the probability is a multiple of 3. Okay, and the probability it's a face card, and the probability that it is an ace. So now we'll see how to go about this sum. Now event is a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3 means 3, 6 and 9. Okay. So as you can see over here, 3 is removed, which is a multiple of 3, and 9 is removed, which is a multiple of 3. So you have to be very careful when you are writing the number of events. So now what is left? So I'm just writing over here multiple of 6 for you to compare. When it is said multiple of 6, it is 3, 6, 9. Okay. Now already we have removed this odd numbered cards. That means if we have removed this odd numbered cards, then this gets cancelled, 3 gets cancelled and 9 gets cancelled. Means what is left? Only 6 is left. So that is the number, that particular card is the possibility when we are saying multiple of 3. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Now, here number 6 cards. So there are 4 sets. So 1 card into 4. So that means the number of events is 4. So probability that a multiple of 3, number of events upon number of sample space. So 4 upon 36, and when you cancel 4 ones are 4 nines are 36. So you get the answer as 1 upon 9. So that is the probability that a multiple of 3 will be the possibility. Now next is a face cards. As you know that there are 3 face cards, Queen, King and Jack. So 3 face cards in each set and there are 4 sets. So 4 threes are 12. So number of events is 12. So probability of face cards is number of event upon number of sample space, that is 12 upon 36. And when you cancel 12 ones are 12, threes are 36, you get the answer as 1 upon 3. Okay children. After that you have event, because they have said probability to find that it is an ace. So event and ace, as there is 1 ace in each set. So 4 sets. So 4 into 1, that is 4. So number of events is 4. So probability of an ace is number of events upon number of sample space, that is 4 upon 36. Now you cancel this, 4 ones are 4 nines are 36. You get 1 upon 9. So that is the probability that it can be an ace. Okay children. Be careful while doing it. Practice more and more. Probability, if you practice, it will be easy for you. But if you don't practice it properly, it's going to be difficult for you to understand, to build up the logic. So understand and write down things carefully, because if you get it wrong, everything goes wrong. If one part is wrong, everything goes wrong. So you have to be careful while you are writing the events, while you are finding the number of events, the sample space, all that has to be done very carefully. Now the next question. So next question says identical cards are marked with the number 1 to 50 and are well shuffled. That means 1 to 50 is the number written on the card. One card is picked up from the set. Find the probability that the number on the card is a perfect square, is a perfect cube, a prime number and a factor of 24. Okay. So now when it is said, it said 1 to 50, that means you have to know that the cards which are drawn, suppose if I just draw the cards like this. Okay. So this is how the cards are there. And the cards are not the playing cards, but the cards are with numbers. So here it is written 1. Here it is written 2. And like that one more card is there which is having the number 3 on it. So there are numbers which are written on the card, and like that there are cards which are numbered till and so on, and there are cards which are numbered till 50. So these are the cards which are numbered till 50 children. So you have to understand that these are not playing cards with ace, with 2 of spade or 2 of diamond, but these are the cards which are with numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like this numbers are written. Okay. So now when you are picking one card from this set, you have to find the probability that the card will have a perfect square. Okay. So let's see how to go about this sum. I hope till here it's clear. Now we go to the next slide. So in the next slide, identical cards. So the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on till 50. So the sample space is 50. Now you have to find that the probability is a perfect square, probability is a perfect cube, probability is a prime number and a factor of 20. After this, first is to find that it is a perfect square. Now from 1 to 50, which are the numbers which will be perfect square? So 1 is a perfect square, 2 2s are 4, 4 is a perfect square, 3 3s are 9, 9 is a perfect square, 4 4s are 16, 16 is a perfect square, 5 5s are 25, 6 6 are 36, 7 7 are 49, 8 8 are 64 is greater than 50. So that is not possible. So these are the numbers which are between 1 to 50 and they are perfect squares. So now these are the events which we have listed. So number of events is, if you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So number of events is 7. Now probability that you get a perfect square is number of events upon number of sample space. Number of events is 7. Number of sample space is 50, that is 7 upon 50. So that is the probability that you will get a perfect square. Okay, children. Now after that, when we go to the next part, it's a prime number. So when you're writing a prime number, always remember 1 is neither prime nor composite, children. So don't include 1 in the list. Be careful because many of y'all make this mistake when you are writing your test papers. So 1 is neither prime nor composite, so 1 will not be included in the list. It will start with 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, and you have to list it down. Otherwise, your marks will be deducted if you're not listing. So 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, and 47. Now this is the list. These are the listed numbers, okay, which are there in the event, a prime number. That means number of event is 15. Okay, so when you write number of event is 15, so probability that a prime number, when you pick up the card and it's a prime number, is number of event upon number of sample space. So number of event is 15, 15 upon 50. Okay, so now you can see 5 3s are 15, 5 10s are 50. So your answer is 3 upon 10, that it will be a prime number. Now after that, we go to the next part, perfect cube, probability that it will be a perfect cube. So for that event, a perfect cube you have to find. So between 1 to 50, which are the events that it will be a perfect cube? So 1 1s are 1, 1, 1 into 1 is 1. So 1, when you cube it, you get 1. 2 when you cube it, you get 8. 3 when you cube it, you get 27. 4 when you cube it, you get 64, which is again greater than 50. So you don't, you can't take that. So between 1 to 50, perfect cubes are 1, 8, and 27. So now number of events is 3. So probability that you will get a perfect cube is number of event upon number of sample space. Number of event is 3. Sample space is 50. So 3 upon 50. Okay, children. After that, we go to the next part, a factor of 24. Now, when it is a factor, it's used, the word factor is used. What you do is you carry out prime factorization. So it will go easy for you to write down the factors. So when you write it down, you know that 1 is there. You can see that over here 2 is there. All the numbers which you get by multiplying, the numbers, the prime factors which are there over here listed, all that you have to write. So 3 is there because here you can see it's 3. So numbers which are inside and outside both you have to write. You can see 2 2s are 4 you will get. So 4 is a factor. 6 is a factor. You can see 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. 8 is a factor. Then 12 is a factor. And then 24 is a factor. So these are the factors which are listed. Now after that you get number of events. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number of events is 8. So when you write down a probability to find a factor of 24, number of event upon number of sample space, that is 8 upon 50. So you divide this 8 with 50. So 2 4s are 8, 2 20, 5s is 50. So you get the answer as 4 upon 25. Okay, children. So that's the probability. Now we go to the next question. So next question says, a game of chance has spinning arrow pivoted at the center of a dial as shown in the figure. When turned the arrow points to any of the 12 numbers. What is the probability that the arrow points to any of the 12 numbers? What is the probability that the arrow points at an odd number, a prime number, a number more than 5, and a perfect square? Okay. So first you have to understand that this is how the spinning arrow is. And now suppose if you see this particular arrow, what is the probability that it is pointing at any number? Okay, you have to find that when it is rotated, it is pointing at any number. So now when it is rotating, that time this arrow will the arrow will point at any number. Okay, so here you can see that the arrow is pointing here at 3. So according to the question, they want us to find that when the pointed number is an odd number. Now here you can see the sample space as it is starting with 1 and ending with 12. The sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now these are the all numbers which will be possible. So number of sample space according to that, when we list it down, is n bracket s becomes 12. So now we have to find that the probability is an odd number, a prime number, a number greater than 5, and a perfect square. So here when we are writing event is an odd number. So now which are the odd numbers between 1 and 12? 1 is an odd number, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11. So now number of events is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number of events is 6. Now probability of an odd number is number of events upon number of sample space. That is event is 6 upon 12. So 6 ones are 6 twos are. So answer is 1 upon 2. Okay. After that, if you see that you want that the probability is a prime number. So event a prime number. So which are the prime numbers between 1 to 12? As I told you before, remember that 1 is neither prime nor composite. So you're not going to list down 1. Now you will start with 2. So 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number. Again, I am repeating the definition of prime number. The number is known as a prime number when it is divisible by 1 and itself. So in no other table you will see that 3 comes. So it comes in the table of 3 and in table of 1, even 2, 5, 7 and 11. Okay, so they are not divisible by any other number. It comes in the table means it is divisible. So they are not divisible by any other number, only it is divisible by itself and by 1. So 2, 3, 5, 7 and 11. The number of events is 5. So probability of a prime number is number of events upon number of sample space. So 5 upon 12, that is the probability. Okay. After that, event that number is greater than 5. So now between 1 to 12, which are the numbers which are greater than 5? So 6 is greater than 5, 7 is greater than 5, 8 is greater than 5, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So there are 7 numbers which are greater than 5. So number of events upon number of sample space. The number of events is 7 and number of sample space is 12. So the answer becomes 7 upon 12. Okay, children. Now next, so we have finished all this. And now one is left, that is a perfect square is left. So you have to get a perfect square. Now this is your homework, which you will be posting it in the group. Okay, children, do it as a homework and post it in the group. Now you must have got the idea how to go about it. So please post it. Now next is question 21. A dice is thrown 500 times and the frequency of the outcomes are noted as given below. Find the probability of getting a number less than 3 and a prime number. So now you can see that, when this dice was having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the numbers which are there on the dice. Now when this dice was thrown, 75 times 1 appeared. 85 times, frequency means how many times it was thrown and how many times number 2 appeared. So 85 times number 2 appeared. Like that 500 times it was thrown. So 100 times 3 appeared. Then 86 times 4 appeared. 90 times 5 appeared. 64 times 6 appeared. So this is how, when the dice was thrown, this many times this particular number appeared on the dice. Now you have to find the probability of getting number less than 3. Number less than 3 are two numbers, that is 1 and 2. So if you see 75 times number 1 appeared and 85 times number 2 appeared. So you have to take the frequency into consideration, not the numbers. Okay, this is a little tricky sum, but understand, if you do it carefully, you'll understand. These are the outcomes. This has nothing to do with the frequency. So frequency means when you were throwing the dice 75 times, when it was thrown, that time number 1 appeared on the dice. 85 times when it was thrown, number 2 appeared on the dice. So now when it is said less than 3, means it is talking about 1 and 2. So let's see how to go about this question. Sample space is 500. Probability number is less than 3, and probability that it is a prime number. You have to find these two probabilities. So solution, event is number less than 3, as the frequency of number less than 3 is for 1 it is 75 times and 2 it is 85 times. So your number of events, because that many times that particular number appeared, so 75 plus 85, that is 160 is the event, number of events. So the probability that the number is less than 3 is equal to number of event upon number of sample space, that is 160 upon 500. Okay. So when you cut this 0 0 and then you divide 2 8s are 16, 2 25s is 50. So 8 upon 25 we got the answer as the probability number less than 3. Now next we have to find that it's a prime number. So prime numbers, if you see, are 2, 3 and 5. Again I am repeating, one is neither prime nor composite. So between 1 to 6, 2, 3 and 5, these are the three prime numbers. Now you have to go with the frequency. So frequency of 2 is 85, frequency of 3 is 100 and frequency of 5 is 90. So your number of events will be 85 plus 100 plus 90, that is 275. And therefore probability that it is a prime number is number of event upon number of sample space, that is 275 upon 500, and when you cut it you get 5 5s are 25, to carry over 5 5s are 25, 500s are. Now divide this with 5 again, so 5 11s are 5 20s are. So your answer is 11 upon 20. So that is the probability that it is a prime number.